Welcome back to the number one spot. Y'all just checked out that cucumber lime.
What? Got that cucumber lime.
Hey, hold on, man. What just in your own words, what was the inspiration behind that song?
I wrote Cucumber Lime like early in the quarantine. So I was just like going through it mentally.
Yeah.
I had just got laid off of my job.
Yeah.
So the plans I had, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of our plans,
Yeah. For sure.
got messed up and whatnot. So I was just like very confused, anxiety, all types of different emotions, stressing out, like, okay, what's gonna happen with my rent so I was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I drink Bacardi a lot.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I mix it with cucumber lime. There's like juice. There's actually a Gatorade, a cucumber lime flavored Gatorade.
Have to try that.
And
that sounds good.
the corner store by my house has it because I live like in an immigrant neighborhood, so it's mostly Central American people, Latin people. So they carry flavors like that because we like that.
Right.
Well, most of us. So I do. So I was like, okay, I think I can mix this Bacardi with this cucumber lime Gatorade. I'm not trying to get too messed up. Like, I'm in quarantine.
Yeah, right.
So I was drinking it.
Yeah,
that can happen. But I was like, I knew that I needed more content to create more content.
Sure.
So I was drinking that, and I'm like, I could write about that.
Yeah. And that's
that
usually where your inspiration comes from. You know, it's like
a
lot of times, sometimes we try to think outside and, I want to come up with this, but it's like,
there's no need.
It's right there.
It's right in front of you.
Right there, cucumber lime.
So,
exactly.
Now, in addition to the modeling, you also do acting?
Yeah, I believe that's how you and I met.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That is right.
Yeah. A while back.
Yeah.
Now we learning something.
Yeah, it was a music video.
Who was the video?
For my boy.
Yeah, when was the video?
He gonna kill me.
When was the video?
Corey
Capone. Thank you for the save. He gonna kill me though. Shout out to that boy Corey Capone. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So, with the acting, that's really what I wanted to do more than modeling is acting. So any opportunity I could get to go out and audition, casting calls, whatever, being in a video even, I mean, that's acting.
So what inspired you to act though?
It just kind of like branched off from different things I was already doing. So when I was in school, I was doing like marketing on the side. You know, whenever you walk into liquor stores, you see people giving out samples of liquor.
Yeah.
So they work for marketing companies usually.
Right.
And they get contracted on an independent basis. It's hourly pay. It's actually really good, easy money.
I bought a drink based
Through
off
that?
of a sample.
Oh, well, that's what's up.
I'm gonna give me a bottle of that.
And that's good because you help that person out.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point.
Absolutely.
So I started doing that stuff, and the way that I was finding those gigs, since they were independent, was through Facebook groups. So it's a brand ambassador job. So I would find it brand ambassadors of Houston or whatever city I was in, and I would get work that way. So then I became pregnant, and I was like, when I became pregnant, I was reevaluating my whole life. I do that a lot, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, you got to though. You got to, because life is, it's constantly changing. You know, so you gotta. Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, I would go into the doctor's office and see magazines of like pregnant women, and I would think, those just look like average women, just everyday women. So I started wondering, I could do that. I'm pregnant. So then I was like, I wonder if they have Facebook groups for that, because they have Facebook groups for brand ambassadors. So I looked into that, found it. Then I was like, well, I want to act. I'll be watching these commercials. I'm like, I could be a progressive girl. I could do that.
And that's really she's giving y'all some game right now. You know what I'm talking about? Check out the Facebook groups. Just go on the search and
it's actually really good for network. I mean, Facebook was created for networking to begin with, and that aspect still exists. But you just have to be, like I said before, just be careful with it. You never know who's behind that screen.
That's they just gotta look for reputable, you know what I'm saying, reputable companies and agencies and stuff like that.
And don't go alone. Don't go
alone. Hey, That's the word to live
So
by.
besides videos, what else? What kind of acting jobs have you done?
I have done a few commercials actually, local commercials here in Houston. So I've done one for a spa in Sugarland called Asian Foot Reflexology. So they ran that that advertisement on Facebook.
Okay.
So I'm in that one. I'm just getting like a back rub.
All right, so you got to start from somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to start from
Yeah,
somewhere.
and I'm in Screwed Up Christmas. So that's a movie produced by Miss Cat TV and
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Shout
you
out
know
to
Miss
Miss
Cat.
Cat.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah,
Cat. Yeah.
Miss Cat TV and ESG. So I'm one of the best friends of the main character. The main character has 3 best friends, and they supposed to be super ratchet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm one of the ratchet girls in Screwed Up Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
And Miss Cat TV actually put me in a short. It's called In My Own Backyard. It's creepy, and I'm in that one. Yeah.
Wow, I'm going to
Okay.
check that one out.
Yeah, that's what's
It's
up.
creepy.
That's what's
Man,
up.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
So moving from the movies, how do we get to rap?
I gained exposure in front of an audience, period, with spoken poetry. So spoken word.
Okay, so you do
Oh,
spoken
you a
word.
Renaissance woman right
Yeah.
now. It's slowly but surely. Oh, I do this too. I do this too. Oh, did I tell you I do this here? Like
Everything
Yeah.
just kind of like branched
Right.
into, what I'm doing currently.
Yeah.
So with the spoken word, I always wrote poetry just like personally, just like a journal,
Like a
a journal of
outlet.
poetry,
Yeah,
just as an outlet of self-expression, but I never shared it.
Okay.
And I knew I wanted to, but of course I was nervous.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding open mics, like open
Okay.
mics at coffee shops and stuff. So I attended one. I figured out how that worked, and then I got on the mic a couple times. And people were actually pretty responsive to my poetry. So I was like, oh.
Ha,
I was like, okay. Yeah. So, and I just love to sing too.
Yeah.
It's really
I
like,
feel
cool.
you because we have another friend of ours, Seven.
ha. Boy, 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah?
heard of him
Uh-huh.
before?
I've heard Pirate talk about him, but I don't think I've met him.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Okay.
he does
Yeah.
poetry and stuff like that as well.
Oh,
Spoken
okay.
word. Yeah.
So, like the transitioning from, I guess, acapella to actually putting lyrics to a beat. Like,
Yeah.
how challenging was that?
It was very challenging in the beginning because it wasn't something that I ventured out to do.
Yeah.
Because I would recite poems to a beat, but I wouldn't be on beat. If you
Right,
will.
right.
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
So I was like, it was a couple of times where I would try, but I'm like, it just doesn't feel natural. Like it just wasn't me, and I never
Yeah.
thought that would be a calling of mine ever.
Right.
But I kept, with that, the modeling, the acting, and I had the corporate job that I recently was laid off from.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that job, I met one of my coworkers. His name is Terrence. T-Fly is No Lie is his stage name. He raps, and
Yeah, okay,
he's
okay.
established a label, a music
Yeah.
label.
Okay.
So I met him there, and he just, figured out what I did. He's like about the modeling and the acting, and I showed him my poetry as well. And he had the idea
Already.
of me releasing a single.
Right.
I was
And he's
like, I don't know about all that.
Okay.
But I was already in the works of trying to do music
Right.
because
Right.
I came across this genre called trap metal. I don't know if you've heard of that, but I
Metal?
thought it was dope.
Wow.
So I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Look that up.
And a friend of mine, she told me that she was working on beats and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I want to make a song and I want to do it with you. But it never happened.
Yeah.
And I kind of spoke about it around Terrence, and I guess he was like, okay, we gonna do this. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna make this happen.
so it happened.
Yeah.
Right.
But I had to learn how to develop cadence and things like that. I didn't know about that. So just listening to the beat and like writing as I would write a poem, and then trying to recite it as I listened to it to see where it would fit in is how I figured it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and the more that I did it, the easier it became.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, the only thing I'm missing is to actually have a singing voice because I would love to sing, like legit sing.
Yeah.
God didn't bless me with that, so that's okay.
So your first song, was it English or was it in Spanish?
It's in English. It's called Trill
Okay.
Exotic. It's a single. It's actually out. So it's on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. But Terrence is on the hook. So Terrence T Fly's No Lie is on the hook. And then I'm rapping. I have 2 verses. So that was my very first.
One, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Willie, man, should this go along them lines? What level of, or if any, was it a level of difficulty writing in Spanish?
No. My thing was I wanted to write in Spanish, but I still wanted it to be trendy. So I wanted it to be like hip hop ish. I didn't want to just use like traditional words. I still wanted it to feel like slang.
Yeah, right. I got you.
So, and that can get funny because obviously there's different dialects of Spanish and stuff.
Yeah.
And like with this particular song, Cadena Cubana, I was just trying to figure out how do you say Cuban link in Spanish? Like, how do you say that? And I was trying to translate it like directly, and that didn't make sense. So I started looking on Instagram, like maybe if I look at hashtags, and because I knew Cuban links are trending right now.
Yeah.
So I would look up hashtags and see what people would say, like in Spanish speaking countries when they had a Cuban link, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So then I start figuring out what to say to where it would make sense.
Okay.
And then the part when I say cadena cubana fría.
Yeah.
So I just came up with that because I know like in English with hip hop, a lot of times talking about talking about jewelry, we refer to it as snow, ice cream.
Yeah.
So I implemented that.
Yeah.
So that's why I said fría, because it's from the English.
Yeah, right. I like this strategy.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
Throwing them nuggets
Cause
out
I'm
there.
feeling this shit. Y'all see me over here.
Yeah.
But I'm saucing like a mother, man.
For real, I see him over there. I'm like, man, what you doing?
Yeah, man, I got this Spanish up in my ear, man.
I got it going on right now.
Speaking Spanish to me, man.
For real.
Here's the
Hey,
thing.
well, we're going to get into that video, the Cuban Link video momentarily. But before we do that, I like to ask all my guests this question. I stole this one. Well, I didn't really steal it because she told me I could use it from my girl Design with an extra E. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Considering what you've learned, your experience, how much you've grown and stuff like that, what would you tell a younger Miss Malik?
Be fearless. Stop being so scary. Ain't nothing to be scared of.
Straight up. Fear itself.
Yeah, because I had a lot of moments where I was just afraid to be who I actually was.
Yeah.
Because I was so focused on being who I thought I should be in order to be accepted. And I spent way too much energy doing that when I could have just been myself, and that would have been great.
Sufficient.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. Well, Miss Malik.
Well, I gotta ask it though.
Oh,
I need to know all the links.
Oh, my
I
bad.
need all the links.
My bad.
My dude. My dude.
Already.
You can find me on Spotify. Artist name Miss Malik. Apple Music. Artist name Miss Malik.
Make it simple for
The
y'all.
gram,
No
Gram,
excuses.
Facebook. I can
Social
follow
media
you.
accounts are Malik7, the number 7, Royale, like Royal with the E at the end. Malik7 Royale on all social media accounts.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what else we appreciate you, Miss Malik.
Thank you
Yes,
for
I thank
having
you
me.
for-
Of course.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Giving me something to look at instead of these two.
They not bad.
And walking out.
That's all right.
If you ain't at the number 1 spot, you're number 2. And nobody remembers number 2. Remember that, baby.
Remember that.
And like my boy Buck say,
Until next time, keep the #1 spot in your mind.
And we out of here. Yeah. Miss Malik, I want you to continue video.
Hey, so y'all check out Cadena Cubana. Featuring, it's Miss Malik featuring Lil K.
Yeah.
So I hope y'all like it on the #1 spot.
Exclusive.
Already.
DJ DQ. Man,
Take
take
us
us
high.
high. Yeah.
Cadena cubana fría, parece una heladería. Cadena cubana fría, cadena.
My style, huh? My style.